What is up, people? I'll wait for some people to jump in here. Today, we have I forget his name now already. Well, I'll bring him in here in a second. But we have every Facebook supporter is going to get a chance to come on a live show. All right, and I think it's like a cool way to interact with people and show love to the supporters because a lot of people don't get a chance to jump on a live show. Anyways, big shout out to Quick Trip sponsoring the show. You know, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm gonna bring him in here. What is up, Anthony? We're just gonna bring him in here, and because that intro was not very good. I'm not drinking tonight, people, but yeah, every Facebook supporter is gonna get a shot to come on a live, and like more than once, like certain people won't want to, and so like whenever like I'm gonna try to do it like once a week or every other week, and if people want to, if they don't, then they don't. But I think it's a nice little perk for people who are supporting. And if you want to become a Facebook supporter, you can go to my Facebook page right on the top, and you get to be in a private group, and you can like message, do all the things that you do in groups, and we can chit chat a little bit, more private. Like, anyways, let's get on with it. Enough of this silliness here. So I forget your name, dude. I'm sorry.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason. All right, I'm here with Jason. I don't. It just drew a blank here. But my buddy Ben, for people who don't know, I think a lot of people know the Green Bay guy. You were on his podcast. He's a good friend of mine. He's one of the reasons, like we were talking before this started. He's one of the reasons I started doing podcasts way back when I was just like recording on my phone. And you did his show, and he actually mentioned me to you because I was like getting guests on, and he was like, he mentioned your name. He's like, you should get him on. But welcome to the show, dude. Welcome to this little thing we got going on here.
Thank you. It's been a long time I've been watching, and now I'm finally going to be a part of it and totally make you look awesome. So it's going to be really good.
So far, I am not looking awesome. But hammer the chat, people. We'll try to get people involved in a chat, and then we're just gonna wing this thing, I do want to talk about eventually the playoff games here and see your thoughts of the AFC NFC Championship game, even though it's a little brutal to even think about the NFC Championship game. But what is up, John? How you doing today? I am sober, just so everyone knows. So I'm a little bit different when I'm sober than when I'm buzzed up. Matt, what program do you use to stream? I just started using Restream. I was using StreamYard for a long time, and then I started using Restream. It's actually really good. They don't sponsor me, none. They should, but it's really easy. Like I like using these programs that even a moron can use because that is what I am. But so this is what like everyone's gonna talk about. Like people this and the Aaron Rodgers situation. But Denver got our offensive coordinator today. They jacked him. Which I think is a good hire for them. I was arguing with people on Facebook saying that they only hired him because of Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that's true. I mean, it might be a little some there like it that they might think, but they're not going to hire a coach because they think they can get Aaron Rodgers, and then if they don't, then they just have this coach. So he's obviously a good coach, and he's deserved a hiring. I saw a lot of smart people talking about today because I like what do I know, but saying that he actually is a very good coach. He was interviewed by multiple teams. But what are your thoughts on that? Losing the offensive coordinator, who do you think that they're going to bring up, and like just your thoughts on losing Hackett?
I think it's going to be an inside hire to replace him. I mean, LaFleur's already pretty much said as much. I mean, it's kind of what you should do, in my opinion, like bringing somebody else in. Let's say you keep Aaron Rodgers, like, does he have to kind of give his say so on an offensive coordinator, that kind of thing? Getting a guy in there that's philosophy is the same. I'm not sure. I mean, but I figure that they would just hire from within. I think that's the easiest move. And like you touched on it, like with Hackett being gone, like if Rodgers was signed for another 6 years, 7 years, Hackett still would have been one of the top 3 guys coveted from any team going into that. So I mean, like people can say that the only reason Denver got him was just because they think they're going to land Rodgers or Devontae Adams or both. but like there's just no sense in that to me, that being the only reason, just because he was such a highly coveted guy and been talking about this for 3 years, about he was an up and comer and this kind of thing. So you're right on there. Like I don't feel like it's just a reactionary move by a team to think that they're going to sway, a couple of players who they'd have to give up just more ransom than I don't even know if any team could even give, to just get him. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out, but it's sad to see him go. That's for sure.
Yeah, he mentioned, I saw a quote which I reposted on Facebook, that he said that he will hire from within for the offensive coordinator. I don't know. I know that there's a lot of names thrown there. I don't think it's going to be a special teams coordinator. Uh, I just have a feeling that won't be.
I hope not.
But yeah, I don't think any of that's going to happen real quick, because like the off season just started. Like we still got the championship game coming up, the Super Bowl. A lot of those decisions aren't made till later on. I don't know when. I assume not too later on, but yeah, they'll. I'm sure. Like he said, he has a tough decision because there's so many great people to pick from. But yeah, I definitely don't think that it had anything to do. I think maybe like they're in the back of their head. But anyways, let's get to some comments over here. Rodgers and Adams both don't control where they go, is why I don't get people thinking those guys can follow Hackett. Yeah, that's the thing. Aaron Rodgers has to be traded if he's to go somewhere, right? And Devontae Adams is probably gonna get franchise tagged if they were gonna trade him, get rid of him or let him go. They would probably franchise tag him and then trade him. Like a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams do that. But I don't think that Aaron Rodgers. I think if he plays, I think he's playing in Green Bay. Like I say, my opinion. I told people this before. Like my opinion might change. Like, but from what he said on Pat McAfee, it kind of said like he said on Pat McAfee that he plans to go back to Pat McAfee's show and like I won't say announce, but like let everyone know like what his plans are, what he's going to do. He's not going to go on Pat McAfee and say I'm demanding a trade here. Like he's going to say I'm retiring or not retiring. Like I don't think that he said he's good with Goot. Like they're all loving each other over there. They're all having a good time. I don't think that he's like disgruntled where he's like, I don't want to play here no more. Like it depends like what they're doing. I'm sure they'll have conversations and maybe they would come to an agreement like, maybe it is time that we just go our separate ways. But I don't think that's the case. And if it is, if Aaron Rodgers is done in Green Bay and like they all decide, hey, we're gonna trade you to whoever, like, God bless, like have a good time. Like I'm not gonna like last year, like I was at war all off season with people yelling and screaming about Rodgers isn't going anywhere. And I remember thinking, if we just get Rodgers for one more year, I won't complain. It is what it is. Whatever the season is, it is what it is. So that's what I'm trying to do. Like if it is Rodgers, the end of them in Green Bay, then so be it. But I don't think it is. I really don't. I think that they're gonna figure this thing out. Maybe he gets an extension, so they push the money up. But I don't know like how much of the extension, how much he wants to play after this year. So like uh I don't know. There's a lot smarter people in that 1265 that are gonna figure these things out. But like I just have a feeling he's gonna play. Like Brett Favre said he has a gut feeling he's gonna move on. I have a gut feeling he's gonna stay. And I think both of us probably need to take a dump and get over it. But so what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Like, I've also heard this thing where it's like, okay, well, he's just going to retire, sit out a year, and then come back, and then the Packers won't get anything for him. He can choose whatever team he wants to go to. This kind of thing, like almost pull like a kind of a Favre situation. I just don't see the guy sitting out for a year and then realizing how he could just do whatever he wants with his, actress girlfriend or
Yeah.
fiance or whatever, and then just come back and be like, okay, well, I gave up an entire year of this I, at this age and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
think
he
it's either
actually
he gets. Go ahead.
I don't want to cut you off, but he actually said on Pat McAfee's show that particular thing. He said, "I will not retire and then come back. And if I retire, I'm done. Like, I will not come back." I think because maybe he heard those rumblings, or maybe he just remembers what Favre did. But he said, "If I retire, I'm done." But anyways, go on. I just want to
No,
say
no,
that.
and that's good. It's just one of those things where I've just read so much stuff that they all kind of jumbled together
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Plus, I was gone this week, so I didn't get to tune into the Pat McAfee, so it's my bad. But like I said, it's really I don't know of a better situation than the Packers, I guess. I mean, I know they're in salary cap, like just the worst salary cap
Yeah,
position
like
they could be in
purgatory.
coming in. There's a lot of restructuring that could be done. And I mean, as of right now, I feel like, if he's gonna decide to go somewhere else, like I don't want him to stay here if he doesn't want to be here, kind of thing. So I mean, if it's just this time after this many years that it's growing stale a little bit and he thinks he can go somewhere else and win, then yeah, I'm never gonna not be a fan of the guy and he did so much and whatever, but that doesn't make me want him to leave either. Like I'm fully expecting him to be back as far. I mean, I guess a little bit more doubt crept into my mind after the 49ers game, but like, before this, when the playoffs started, I was like, there is no way coming off another should be MVP season that we should even be having this conversation again. So I think the way the game ended is kind of what's putting this into motion a little bit for a lot of people. And, we'll see. I mean, he's a very polarizing player. So, I mean, like, it's just, this is a national story and, they're
Yeah.
just coming at it from a lot of angles. But yeah, as a homer, like an absolutely admitted 100% homer, I say he stays and, and they figure out the salary cap stuff later. So,
Yeah, yeah. So here's a good comment right here because I was talking to people about this. Denver got 50 million to play with, but the thing is, if Denver traded, let's just say this weird, scenario that everyone's talking about. Denver traded for Aaron Rodgers, and then the Packers franchise Devontae Adams, which a lot of people are saying, and then they trade for him. Like, how many first round picks is that? You're not getting Devontae Adams cheap. You're gonna get him a little bit
well,
cheaper because he's franchise tag. And usually, I think that brings the price down a little bit. If I remember right, with past teams that did it, but you're still giving up a lot of first round picks. Like, dude, they won't have first round picks like forever. Like, it's just not feasible. Like, maybe like if people are saying that they're gonna go after Rodgers, the thing is, they're not. The Packers aren't gonna be trading Rodgers unless they come to an agreement and say, "Hey, we're gonna trade you." Like, no one's gonna be like, "Hey, we'll give you this," and they're like, "Whoa, that's too good to pass up," and then just take it. Like they know they're better off with Aaron Rodgers, and they're gonna try everything to keep him. Like if they're all vibing together, then
yeah,
he's
they
gonna be
can
in Green Bay.
you can look at the Matt Stafford trade as a benchmark to like even begin to talk about what you're going to get for Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. And that's 3 first round picks.
Yeah,
And I mean, like, just start it there and move on, because it's going to be more than that. And especially if they're bringing, I mean, if any rumors are true that, it's him and Adams already have it figured out, they're going to leave together and go to the same place or something like that. There's no possible way that it's going to be anything less than that. So, the Packers are smart. Like I said, we're fans and we sit in the seats and cheer. But it would make me think that at least we're going to get at least what we Matt Stafford and for that trade and what LA had to give up for him. So, and it looks like that's going to turn out okay for him. Maybe for right now, they might even get a Super Bowl out of it. Who knows? But yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
That's
like,
the thing. That's actually a good point. About the Rams because I think the Rams, if they get to the Super Bowl, even if they don't win it, even if they just get into the Super Bowl, I think shows all other teams going all in works. Like
yeah,
if you go all in because they went all in. Like I think the Packers, did the best they could to go all in, but the Rams, like they went all in, and if they can make it work, it didn't look like it early on that it was gonna work. Cause I was like laughing at the Rams. Not that they weren't sucky, but they weren't like what they're doing now. Like they're a pretty dominant team the last few games, and so like, if they can get it work, especially if they win a Super Bowl, you'll see a lot of teams saying, we can just trade for a veteran quarterback who's with the Stafford situation, he's a good quarterback just on a trash team forever. Or if it's a guy like Aaron Rodgers, which I don't think so. But there's like a lot of aging quarterbacks that people can get, and then just start bringing in all these free agents and basically just try to buy a championship. If the Rams can figure it out and make it work, I think a lot of teams will be trying to do that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Packers should have gone all in on special teams.
yep.
Yo, yeah, yeah. They should, dude. I love the Packers, but like that was like the all-time worst, I think, special teams game that has ever happened in the history of the NFL. That's what I heard. Like I don't know. I never watched every game in the NFL history, but like that was such a debacle. And that's the thing is, everyone saw this whole season. Everyone was talking about the special teams is going to get us at some point, and it was just a horrible. Or I don't even know. Like that blocked punt was right in front of me. I was at the game. I was in the third row. Like it was like right there. If I remember correctly. I was a little buzzed up at that game, but that was that was a horrible situation. The special teams, and I saw a comment up here. Uh, any news on whether we are keeping the special teams coach or not? I would be stunned if they do. They're not going to do it like right away. They're not going to be in a hurry to fire him. If they do, I can't imagine they don't like. And if they don't, or like how they're going to work it, like I don't know, like behind the scenes, he's kind of demoted or he's getting help or something. I don't know. But like, I don't think teams are in a quickest hurry to fire people. But yeah, something has to be done. Special teams like that's not acceptable, and they know that. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter how good you are if you get to the playoffs and your special teams is just doing that. You know what I mean?
I don't even know if it's fully a coaching issue all the time though either. I think a lot of times we blame the coach, but literally I think it's an organizational issue because they just have neglected that 1/3 of the team for years. We've gone through so many special teams coordinators that you can't even count them all on two hands. It feels like, and they just have to start committing, roster spots or committing something to make that side of the ball not do exactly what they did. And I was at the game too, and that's the quietest after that block punt for a touchdown was the quietest I have ever heard Lambeau in a playoff game and I've been to multiple games, and it's just that was the most deflating thing I've ever been a part of for sure.
Yeah, right here, there's a video of the Packers special teams screwing up for 44 straight minutes on YouTube. It's just this season. Uh, I don't doubt it. Like the special teams is the thing. They're gonna fix it. Like you said, I don't know if it's a coordinator. Like that's who gets the blame. Like if the offense does bad, the coordinator. If the defense does bad, the same. If the offense is good, coordinator gets. Uh, like just right now, the Packers offense is great. Hackett got a job. He doesn't call the plays. There's a lot more to offensive coordinating than calling plays, like getting the team ready, coaching them up, doing all the things. I don't know. I've never been offensive coordinator, but I know that there's a lot more to it. They're not just standing there looking pretty. But so like, you get to blame like when things go wrong. But they definitely got to figure it out. Like if it's coordinated, if it's the the depth isn't good enough, so they don't have the guys there that are capable of blocking and doing all the things that what I mean. Like there's so many screwed up things. But let's get to a comment here. Matt, do we still have Matt Flynn's number? He was on Twitter. I forgot what he said. He was making jokes. Uh, he's still friends with Aaron Rodgers, and that I forgot one of those fake stories that came out. Oh yeah, there was one that said Aaron Rodgers was going to boycott the Super Bowl if they got there, and then they were all joking on Twitter, and Matt Flynn jumped in there. And but yeah, I think Matt Flynn said he's going to fire up the arm or something. I forgot when he said that, but Matt Flynn's on Twitter. He's actually pretty funny. But yeah, I think his football playing days is over. I don't think he's going to be making a comeback anytime soon. We go here. About all that money that he made. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember that. Matt Flynn said someone was trolling him, some dude on Twitter. Actually, that dude follows me, comments on my stuff all the time. And he said something, trying to be trolly. I forget what it was. But Matt Flynn said, oh yeah, he said, oh, how does it feel to make all that money and then never play? And then he was like, pretty good, pretty awesome. Matt Flynn got paid. Like Matt Flynn made more money, I think, than almost every quarterback ever that has never played. That didn't get that starting shot. I mean, there's a lot of backups that got paid back in the day, that played for a long time, but they got one time, he got paid a lot of money, and then good for him, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if, get your money. I'm all about people getting their money. He scored 6 touchdowns in one game, dude. He is a Green Bay Packer legend, bro. We go here. Matt Flynn only plays good in Green Bay. That is actually true. He he didn't get a real shot in Seattle because they drafted Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson just wowed him in training camp. I don't think that they expect that to happen. But he went to a few other places. I don't know exactly where. But yeah, he wasn't like you know, lighten it up or whatever. But he came back to the Green Bay and he kind of did his thing again. He was a good backup, but yeah, I, I don't think he's part of the conversation. He isn't coming back. You got $20 million contract. He said, "Yeah, that was awesome." You got paid 20 million. All right, so we're gonna here we go. Wouldn't that be the shit? Get paid off and then retire, never getting banged up. Dude, that's the thing, dude. Get paid 20 mil or whatever it was. I assume that that's accurate. And then never, you don't have all the concussions building up through a long career. I mean, they do like in college, and I'm sure he still got his fair share. But like, and then just be over there chilling, be on Twitter, just trolling people and having a good time. Like, I don't I think it's fantastic, man. I think it's fantastic. All right, so let's talk real quick about these games coming up, starting with the AFC. We got the Cincinnati Bengals are playing the Kansas City Chiefs, which is I think is gonna be an interesting game. I want to ask you, who do you think is gonna win, and who do you want to win? And in the chat too, I want to hear, and I'll throw some on the screen. The Cincinnati Bengals, Kansas City Chiefs. Who we got?
Well, I'd say my head says the Chiefs for sure, and my beer gut says the Bengals a little bit. The Chiefs have looked awesome as of late, their offense, but they still are just making games out of games that shouldn't be games, sort of thing. So if Cincinnati can figure out a way to just keep pace with the Kansas City scoring and be there close at the end, I mean, I think all bets are off. I mean, that's their best chance there. I mean, Kansas City is not going to run the ball. I mean, they're in it to pass it. I mean, Kelsey's probably going to have a huge day, but I mean, I have a feeling the Bengals can at least match the scoring. I mean, they played each other. I don't remember what week it was, 17 or something like that, and the Bengals came out of there with a win. So I mean, like, who's to say it can't happen again? I know the Chiefs are a different team, and it's the playoffs, and they've got the experience. But like, I think the Chiefs are going to win most likely. But like, man, I think there's a lot of people right now that are huge Bengals fans all of a sudden and really want to see this whole torch being passed from Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, and being out to seeing guys like Mahomes and Allen and now Joe Burrow going through there in the AFC, and like this new up and coming trio of quarterbacks that are just going to be dominating, it looks like, for years. So I mean, if Burrow can do it, holy cow! Like, sign me up, man. I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, dude. Joey Burrow, dude. Like I'm jacked up for this dude. And you're right about, like, if Brady, a lot of people think of Brady's gonna retire. Aaron Rodgers is talking about it, so obviously he's coming to the end of his thing. And then you got like a lot of these young quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Roethlisberger just retired. Like, there's a whole new group of guys that we're gonna watch. And but yeah, for this game, like you said, my brain, the Chiefs have been playing good. Like that Buffalo game, no matter who won that game, I was like, that's a good football team. Like, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. You don't just go and do that again. You know what I mean? So, a lot of people say the Bengals don't have a great offensive line. I don't know everything about the Bengals, but I want the Bengals to win, and not because I hate the Chiefs. I actually like Patrick Mahomes a lot. I know his family's kind of sketchy, but I like Patrick Mahomes a lot. I think he's a good dude. He seems like he's having fun. He's fun to watch. But the Bengals, man, I remember when the Bengals had a chance, because the Bengals sucked since forever. Like, most of my life remembering they sucked. And then back in the day they had Carson Palmer, and then that's when like the Steelers were really good. They were playing the Steelers, and I mean, the Steelers were kind of really good a lot of times. They pretty much off and on. But Bengals, like, they finally got their shot in the playoffs, playing good. They're playing good football. They had Ocho Cinco, all the people over there. And then Carson Palmer went down, and that game was over. And then basically that was it. I don't know how long later. Carson Palmer's like,
Yep.
I'm out of here. I don't want to play here no more. And he went to the Raiders. Who does that? But I mean, I think he actually retired. He's like, I'm not playing for you no more. And then they're like, well, you got to play for us, play for no one. He's like, I got $80 million in the bank. I remember him saying that. I got $80 million in my bank account. I don't have to play football. 'Cause I remember at the time I was like, $80 million in their bank account. We all know that they make a lot of money, but you never really think about how much is chilling in their bank account like that. I was like, well, that's a lot of money. But So then he kind of retired, but then they still had his rights. I think it was a year later, maybe more. The Raiders came up, I think it was, and they're like, "Hey, we want him. We'll trade for him." And so then they're like, "All right, he can get up. We'll let him get out of that thing." And but anyways, yeah. So the Bengals sucked for, and then after that, they went back to sucking, and then like now they're back. I think Bengals fans deserve it. Bengals fans, the Chiefs fans, they got it, man. Like they got their rings. They got they got Patrick Mahomes. They got all the things. Let the Bengals fans enjoy some. Let some people from Ohio celebrate a football game in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get to the Super Bowl. But so yeah, that's what I think. I'm gonna be live streaming during these championship games. I think so. For people who watch my live stream, stay tuned for that. But let me get to some of these comments here I was ignoring. Not ignoring, but pay attention. Matt, fans, hi Peter, North here. All right, take it easy. I don't know what that was. What is going on? Hang on, let me see if that's a joke or if that's like a troll. Okay, I thought that was something else. All right, hang on. Hi, Peter North here, old adult film star, huge Packers fan and season ticket holder. We need a running quarterback. Thanks, Peter. All right, I appreciate you. At first, I thought that was going another way because sometimes people pop in who don't like me and just say wild stuff. But running quarterbacks are fun. Jordan Love can run a little bit, I think. I think that's what like Scout said like when he first came up. I don't know. I didn't really. Obviously, we haven't seen him really play a lot of football. But anyways, running quarterbacks are fun. Like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, even like Aaron Rodgers. Seeing him, he doesn't scramble like that. But like Michael Vick, like back in the day. Whenever I'm playing Madden, I want a fast quarterback because they're fun. I don't ever throw. I just run around and he gets killed, and then he's injured for the season. And then I reset it and I start over. But Matt, you are so good. We need to get the word out about you. There should be more peeps on here. Yeah, a lot of times there are more people. I blame Jason over here, but no, I'm just kidding. No, but I go live like every day, so I think people might be getting sick of me a little bit. But I'm starting to go live in more places, and I actually have less viewers. Like I'm live on LinkedIn. Someone told me like, "Hey, you can go live on LinkedIn." I was like, so I signed up for LinkedIn just to go live. Obviously, no one knows who I am there or that I am there, and I don't know if they watch podcasts there, but I'm live there and somewhere else too, like daily something else. Anyways, but I don't know. I appreciate that. We have fun. You know what I mean? We have fun. Uh, do you remember who they were comparing Jordan Love to? It was Patrick Mahomes. See, here's the thing. Let's talk about that real quick. I'm not going to compare Jordan Love to Patrick Mahomes because I don't think you should compare anyone to Patrick Mahomes that hasn't like proven. But when Patrick Mahomes was drafted, Chiefs fans were mad. They were big mad. Like I remember someone mentioned it because I didn't know this, and then I went on Twitter and I like found them. Like I found these tweets. Well, someone like I think was tagging people in it or whatever. But I saw these tweets of Chiefs fans. And we already have Alex Smith. Alex Smith was a quarterback then. We don't need a new quarterback. The same thing Packer fans are saying about Jordan Love. And they were big mad. And then he ends up being great. I'm like I say, I'm not comparing Jordan Love to anyone. I'm just saying sometimes fans get mad. The Aaron Rodgers was drafted, Packer fans are mad. Like you just don't know like what the future holds. You have to wait and see. And maybe he'll be good. Maybe he won't. And if he's not, there's gonna be consequences for the people running the show, you know what I mean? But we got Mark over here. This is we need to get you on the Pat McAfee show. I'm ready, Pat. Excuse me. But he used my clip. Pat McAfee used my clip. One of my Aaron Rodgers rants, put it on his show like for a commercial in between his like breaks, like I think last season. That was, I mean, he didn't, his people did. Like, I don't think he was like, I need that on my thing. Yeah, but anyways, but so yeah, I don't know. What do you think about what I said?
As far as the Jordan Love thing?
Yeah, let me ask you, like, what are your thoughts on Jordan Love? Like my thing is, I think it's too soon. Like, you can't say he's great, can't say he's a bust. I get why people are, they'd like to see more. So I'm not like going to trash people who think, well, we should have saw more by now, but I don't think we had enough. But what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's too early to give like a full diagnosis of the situation. I mean, like you bring up the Mahomes thing. Like, I wish it was the same exact circumstance, being brought into a similar team, being, basically starting and being thrown in the fire right away. I mean, that's not his situation. So, I mean, I like to say that I'd like to see a little bit more time, but yeah, would it feel good to like see a little bit more flashes here and there of him, like, starting to get it and starting to feel more comfortable back there and things like that? I can't say that it wouldn't. Like, I would like to see a little bit more progress that we can see, but we're not there in that room at those practices every single day. I mean, like, just the people I trust, like, that are there every day on Twitter and stuff like that, say, yeah, he has shown major growth, but there is still a lot to learn. And I feel like for a guy that is in this situation, that's a pretty fair expectation. I mean, if we're expecting, if the worst happens and Rodgers decides I'm off to Denver or somewhere else, and we're gonna get a firsthand look. I mean, is the, I guess, expectation like us competing for a playoff spot right away, no matter what, no drop off there? I mean, I think we got the right coach for and the right offensive scheme for a first year starting quarterback. So I mean, that's gonna make a difference too. So I mean, when he's in there playing with the starters, that kind of thing, I like to see more, absolutely, but I'm also not just condemning the Packers to like 20 years of losing because they have Jordan Love as their first year. Even if he struggles the first year, I'm not going to throw in the towel and just say that this guy's career is already over. I feel like it's just too early, and I'm going to wait and see how it plays out and try not to react or overreact really at anything that I see out there more than just is he getting better and do they have a shot to win? And I guess that's just my biggest feel about
Yeah, see, my thing is like if it came to like Jordan Love was playing football for the Packers next year, I think that like you said, Matt LaFleur's offense is like built for this. It's it's meant for like timing passes, short passes, run the ball, like play action, all the things. And I think all you need as a quarterback is like manage the game, like be on you. Like you don't need a superhero. Like people seem to think that you need a Hall of Fame quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Like you don't need a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like you play strong defense, you have a good running game, have a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. And look at Jimmy G in San Francisco. Like what's he doing? Like he does nothing. Like I don't even want to get into that, but like you don't need a superstar quarterback to win a Super Bowl. It's helpful. I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers. But one thing I think would be hilarious, real quick, if all these Denver Bronco fans tell me, oh, commenting all day, oh, Aaron Rodgers coming over here, be funny if okay, you got Hackett, and then they announce there's a trade between the Denver Broncos and the Green Bay Packers. The Packers traded Jordan Love to the Broncos. They thought they're getting Rodgers, and they get Jordan Love instead, and then they extend Rodgers. That would be hilarious to me. And no disrespect to Jordan Love, because he doesn't deserve. I don't think he deserves all the hate he gets or whatever, because he didn't do nothing. It's not his fault he got drafted to the Packers. You know what I mean? So, but like that would be hilarious to me, dude. That that would be great. But yeah, I tend to agree with this one right here. I appreciate you cleaning up. This is a family show. All right, so Council says until you run into a team with firepower like Buffalo or Chiefs, you need that quarterback that can do it too. Well, yeah, I get that point. That's actually a good point. But if you have a quarterback that just doesn't make mistakes, because like the Packers, like Aaron Rodgers did not light it up against the Niners. Obviously, everyone watched. He didn't light it up. So like if they don't make some mistakes, those special teams mistakes, they're in position to win. Whether you have Aaron Rodgers or whether you have I'm not gonna say Jordan Love because his first year, like who knows like what he's gonna be. But if you have an established quarterback who's not, Aaron Rodgers, not Patrick Mahomes, but just someone who can, hand the ball off, get the ball down the field a little bit, don't have to be superhero all the time. Like you can win those type of games. But yeah, you're right. When you're playing guys like Patrick Mahomes and like they're lighting up, or even like the Packers offense, like in the past, even this year, a few games, we're just like lighting it up. You're going to get behind quick if you're a slow pace, especially if your defense flips up and makes some mistakes. But
it. Yeah,
go
trying to
ahead.
find a third straight Hall of Famer to match other Hall of Fame
Yeah,
quarterbacks. That's a tough ask. So I mean, yeah, you'd want to get a guy that can be capable back there, but it's going to take some time for sure.
yeah, I totally agree here too with Joe. I have faith in the front office. I really do. I have faith that they know what they're doing. So like even if they did happen to trade Aaron Rodgers this year, and then they play Jordan Love, and Jordan Love, they're like, all right, this isn't working. Like we're not liking this. I'm not saying that that's what I think is gonna happen, but like if that did happen, they got some picks now because they for what they traded Rodgers for. Next year in the draft, there's a quarterback they like, they can go and try this thing again. I mean, the thing is like if you make a mistake, like draft someone, like you don't just stick with it because like, oh, we drafted him, we gotta ride with this. No, you admit it, like, all right, let's just fix this thing. But like I'm not saying that that's gonna happen because I hated saying that because like we don't know. And I think Jordan Love deserves, his time, like not to be trashed. I remember Rodgers getting booed at practice at Lambeau
I
Field. Like
remember
Rodgers,
we
yeah, back in the day.
Not to
Uh
mention Love's playing in a pretty dang good division to be able to struggle a little bit and not have to
yeah.
win 13 games. I mean, look at the trash that the Bears and Vikings are
Yeah.
and the
And they
Lions.
all
I
got
mean,
new
whatever, of course,
coaches.
but I mean,
Yeah.
getting rid of their GMs and head coaches. I mean, now's the time. Like you might as well start, figuring out where this is. If Rodgers does leave, then at least we're still going to be competitive in the division. I have a feeling, and when you can win that division, get a home playoff game, all bets are off. We've seen it, so I'm going to be there for. I'm excited to see it if it does happen. I mean, it's one of those things where you know I, as a Packer fan, it's like I'm going to cheer for whoever they suit up back there. And yeah, I'm expecting them to win and I'm expecting them to do well as part of being a football fan. But like just to see the something different and the growth and things like that, and to see what this Matt LaFleur offense can do, maybe with not an MVP, Pro Bowl, whatever quarterback, and to see some maybe the nuances that we've been missing. I don't know. I think it's going to be fun football either way. So
Yeah, and that's a good comment. And well, AJ Dillon going down hurt us a ton. In my opinion, he's possibly more important in the run game than Aaron Jones. Like, yeah, it's absolutely true. But Dillon going down was huge, and Dillon would be a big part. Like if Jordan Love was going to play, because Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon together, like if they were like just like a more run heavy type of team. I'm not saying that they'd be like dominantly all run, but they'd probably run a little more if they didn't have Aaron Rodgers. But AJ Dillon's a bruiser. Aaron Jones can do his thing. Aaron Jones can play receiver. He can go out and slide. Like he can do a lot of different things. So that's what they'd do. They would just be more creative with it and run the offense the way Matt LaFleur kind of intends, because he doesn't run the offense the way he intended to run it. Because he got Aaron Rodgers, so he's like, oh, we're gonna tweak some things because we got a special guy back here. But if you had a young quarterback, you would change those things. I want to get to the NFC Championship game. All right, NFC Championship game. Uh, I see Joey up here. Hang on, I want to get to this comment real quick. It says, Matt, this is your chance to be a special teams coach. Dude, I'm telling you, I could do it. You know what I would be a good special teams coach. I would say, hey guys, listen up. We're gonna kick the ball down there, right? They're gonna catch that thing and they're gonna run towards us. We're gonna run towards them. Tackle them. Don't let them run past us. You want them in front of you, not behind you. And try to get them within the 25-yard line. We don't need to run to the 50. And then when we punt the ball, those guys with the other jerseys, don't let them by the punter. That's the guy that, just I think I could be a good coach is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But the NFC Championship game, we got the 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Who do you got in this game?
I wish I didn't have to choose either of them. Like, to be honest, like this one will hurt. Like, it's even one of those games where I'm like, I'm gonna have a hard time watching it just because I have a feeling like the Packers should be there, that kind of feeling. But I
Yeah.
mean, I have to go with the Rams. I mean, I've never had anything bad to say or any bad feelings against Matt Stafford when he was in our division for years, just because the Packers, were usually winning the
Yeah.
division, but the Lions always gave the Packers fits, especially at Ford Field and things like that. So I mean, I got to be pulling for Matt Stafford big time in this game, and the Rams, they got some personalities in the team that I'm not a real big fan of. I mean, that's fine, but I mean, anything's got to be better than the 49ers at this point. Like, I can't watch that team go to the Super Bowl and whatever, because they're still one of my biggest rivals. I mean, like I went to the playoff game back in the 90s, the Mud Bowl where we went through there. And I hated the 49ers even then, so it's like
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and be able to, even if I think the 49ers are winning, to give them any credit or respect that they deserve right now. I'm still mad at them. So no. It's gonna be it's gonna be the Rams that win the game. I think it's gonna be really, really close though. And for some reason the 49ers have the Rams number. And I mean, that it's just one of those things. We're really gonna see if Matt Stafford and McVay together can pull off some magic here and get him over the hump, because like I said, when it comes down to like what football fans want to see, or like, even casual fans, like Matt Stafford's got to be one of the most likable guys, in the NFL, right around like Joe Burrow. I think he's got kind of that same feeling behind him, major likable, and you can't really find a lot of negative things to say about him. Stafford is, his this is his biggest moment. So it's like, let's see it. You got here.
dude,
This is what the trade was for. So make it happen. So I think I think they get it done. And the Rams versus Chiefs, if my picks are correct, I mean, that's going to be a Super Bowl worth watching, in my opinion. I'm going to be there and watch it and whatever. I'm still going to feel weird about it because I had my ticket punched to the Super Bowl this year, man. I absolutely did. So, but it's part of being a Packer fan, and I'll get over it. It's just still a little new, but yeah, the Rams are going to take it.
All right, yeah. So I got a lot to say about this one. First of all, I hate the 49ers, but I have a 49ers fan coming on the show on Monday. When I was at the game, I met a 49ers fan. I went live during the game at the end. Well, I went live during the game. At the end, people were giving him a hard time because he was cheering and he was yelling. Oh, he was yelling, "Go home!" But I do think he was with his friends who were Packer fans. I think that's kind of what it was. I don't think he was being as mean as it appeared. People thought he. But anyways, we're going to come on the show because he was good people. Like, we were drinking, we were partying like during the game. So I thought it'd be fun to bring him on the show. I told him he had to wait though. I was like, you got to wait. I can't be bringing a Niners fan on my show the week after your team beat my team, and maybe you'll lose, and then everyone will feel better about it. But but he's a good guy, anyways. But I don't like the 49ers. Like, I'll tell him that too. I don't like the 49ers since I was a kid. Like you said, like back in the '90s, like and then recent. Like, there's never been a time in the history of like me remembering that the 49ers were anything that I liked, like it didn't hate. I won't say I didn't. I'm not like it's one of my most hated teams. It's not even on top 5, but I just don't like them. They got the best of us even when they shouldn't have, and the Packers are better. They seem to just do it. But even like back to when, like you say, in the '90s, and like seems like since forever. But and then like you mentioned Matthew Stafford. I actually love Matthew Stafford. I think he's a tough dude. Like, I respect that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he like that game when he like busted his shoulder up. I think he had to get a 2-point conversion. They called the timeout, so we got to go back in. And he's in there and he's just like gimping or just dragging himself to the line of scrimmage, slings a touchdown. He's like, ah, and then he like runs off. And like, dude, that's just so like badass. You know what I mean? So like I just got a lot of respect for him. And I obviously I don't ever root for the team that knocked my team out of the playoffs. I'm just never gonna do it. That's not gonna happen. I don't want good things for them. And I think it'll be I think the Rams are a fun team because like you're talking about before with the all in thing, a team going all in, making the Super Bowl. I think is an interesting story. Stafford doing his thing, and I think the Rams and the if it is the Chiefs, I hope it's the Bengals. But if it is the Chiefs, that'll be interesting Super Bowl because the Rams have potential to have a high flying offense, but they don't always do that. Sometimes Stafford brings Detroit back with him, and then he starts throwing picks. And if you're playing the Chiefs, especially in a big game, and you start throwing picks, that game is over because Mahomes is gonna make you pay. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the Rams. And I saw a lot of people saying like by 3 and stuff, but I think the Rams might really take it to the Niners. I really do. I think if the Rams play as good as they can play, if their offense does what they can do, I think the Niners are going to get blown up. I wouldn't say blown up like like shut out or anything, but I think that it could be like 10 points or 2 touchdowns lead, but maybe not though because the Niners. I thought that last week too. So like you know what I mean? Because I think the Packers and the Rams both have powerful offense, but they made the Packers offense not so powerful. So you know what I mean? Like maybe they do the same thing to the Rams. Maybe I'm wrong again. But
I have no idea.
that's
All
my
I know
pick.
is that, like I said, I think that the 49ers have the Rams number, and no matter what that. I just think that when you can run the ball like 49ers do and keep the offense off the field and then meet their physicality, because the Rams do have some studs on defense and they're physical. We saw it when they played the Packers
Yeah.
in the playoff games last year. I mean, like, yeah, the Packers won, but I mean, it was a physical game. I mean, it just was. They're fast, they fly around, that kind of stuff. But when you can match them, which I think the 49ers can do, I think that's when the Rams get in trouble. Like when they can get pressure with four in the middle
Yeah,
and things
that's
like that.
actually a good point. That's actually a really good point because they get pressure on the quarterback, and that's when Stafford can make some mistakes. 'Cause they get to the quarterback. We saw that, and we've seen it the last few weeks. The last whatever. And the Niners are a punch in the face type of team. Like they're a tough, like just what I mean, like just like grunt, "Arr, arr," you know what I mean? They're like, they're not like all fancy and passing all over the place. They're like a both offense and defense, kind of a tough, kind of like punch in the mouth type of team. As much as I hate to say it, but I gotta get this comment right here. Anything to make Jackson Mahomes cry. Can't stand him, dude. I think that Jackson Mahomes and I don't know if it's his wife, his sister, his girlfriend, whatever it is, people hate them. And I think it's an interesting thing. Like people talk about Aaron Rodgers not talking to his family. I think a lot of people would be okay with Patrick Mahomes not talking to his family, and maybe who knows what Aaron Rodgers had to deal with. So maybe it's something to not talking to your family if you get in that position. Like you don't know people's lives. But yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes, because he seems like such a good dude, does all the right things, says the right things. He's got the curly hair, everyone loves him. He's like, he could be, he's probably if he's not already, he's gonna be the face of the NFL. He probably is already, especially if Brady retires and Rodgers, gets out of the way. But and then his family's just crazy. They're all there throwing champagne on people in the cold while they're up in their balcony. None got on them. But they know he's TikToking, dancing, doing weird stuff. Patrick Mahomes always got to answer questions about him. Yeah, it's all yeah, it's they're all nuts. Let's get to some of these comments of people who want to say some stuff. We're gonna wrap this thing up quick. This is a long one here. Let's see if I can read it. That was the main thing with the Packers and Niners game. Not to give the Niners the ball first because they will take up 8 to 10 minutes the first quarter. I was happy when Green Bay got the ball first and was able to put points on the board. It's all went downhill, and that's actually a perfect comment. That is so true. The Niners will eat that clock. We were saying it before that game. Like the Packers get the ball first, go down there and score, which they did, and that was about it. That's a highlight reel. But yeah, the Niners will punch in the face. They'll hold the ball. They'll keep the ball out of your hands. So even if you got a high flying offense, like you better like every time you get possession or take advantage because they will. They're not going to give they're going to eat that clock.
Well, that last drive by the 49ers to kick the field goal, I mean, that's like a microcosm of their whole offense. I mean, they just ran, threw the ball on third downs to get the first downs when they needed it, and just didn't let Rodgers beat them. I mean, like that was the thing. Like it was the craziest feeling when they got the ball and Rodgers, had this basically two chances, and the offense had two chances to go down and do something, and didn't. You just knew that if they kept doing that, Rodgers was like, "Wow, we're really running out of time." You kept looking at the clock. We're just like, "Okay, when's that stop going to come? When's that stop?" And that's just what they've been doing now in the playoffs. But then even like towards the end of the year, they just have these long drives where they just absolutely eat the heck out of the clock and that kind of thing. And when they got the ball at the end there, I was yelling as loud as I could possibly yell, and my voice was already hurting and stuff like that. But it just felt like, man, they if they could just stop them 3rd and 9, like holy cow, what a great, they're gonna get the ball back, and it just never happened. That's why I say like with the Rams and if they can keep that offense off the field and keep it low scoring, I mean that favors the 49ers in almost every game they play right now. So
yeah, that's what it does. I was reading these comments. I got a troll over here, popping in, saying some goofy stuff. So, I blocked him. He's good. He's gone. But let's get this comment here. Brady's coming to Green Bay. I don't think so. But like, let me ask you this: do you think Tom Brady is going to retire? He made some comments. He actually sounds like it to me. Talking about his wife deserves to have him at home. He, his kids not seeing him grow up. He wants to make sure he can give his 100% to the obviously to his team. And it just sounds to me like a dude that's like ready to be done. Like he's got nothing to prove. Everyone's like, no, he wants to go out on top. Like, dude, what? Well, Aaron Rodgers would like to go out on top. You know, like a lot of guys who have 1, 2 rings would like to go out on top. Tom Brady, like, it's not like anyone's gonna go, oh yeah, he's got 7 rings, but he lost in a divisional round in his last season. Like, no one's gonna care. Tom Brady, like, no one's gonna match those record that Super Bowl that many rings. No one's gonna come close to it. I made a joke the other day. I said Jordan Love might, but no one else.
I saw that. That was awesome.
But yeah, no one's gonna touch that. That's not gonna happen again. That was a fluke. Not a fluke. I'm not taking anything away from him. But that's not. No teams are gonna get put together like that. Because not just Tom Brady. He had some great teams. He's a great quarterback, and I'm not saying anything away from him. But he's part of some great teams, like great defense. Belichick's a great coach. Went to Tampa Bay. They were a great team. You know, they had a great team. I think he's a great leader. I think he makes teams better. Like even the defense, it seems like he makes better. Like I just feel like everyone wants to play up because, you know, it's Tom Brady. But I think that he might be wrapping it up for his career. What do you think?
It has to happen at some point. I mean, with the age and all that other stuff. I mean, they had a good sniff at a Super Bowl again this year, and I mean, going back to back would have been really the last thing that he could have really accomplished that I don't think he has with another team other than the Patriots, at least. So, like, I mean, at this point, I would like to say that I think he is going to retire, but at the same time, like, if he's feeling good and the Buccaneers just don't look like they're in a bad spot yet. Like I know they had some injuries and things that this year that sort of like kind of hamstrung them towards the end, but like they could still be set up with some young talent they have there and things like that. Like Gronk might not come back. I mean, who the heck knows how long he's going to play and stuff too. So I mean, if he doesn't come back, I understand it. But if he does, I can totally understand that too. So I guess my gut feeling says he's done. And let's stamp a career. I mean, like I said, like as much as I'm not gonna say I dog the guy, but definitely like just am sick of listening to like stuff about Tom Brady. I guess like we're gonna be hearing it for as long as we're gonna have grandkids and be old and gray and still have to talk about how great Tom Brady was forever. And no other quarterback is ever going to be able to, like you said, ever going to be able to come up to what he's done. And that's what every conversation is going to start and end with. Well, Tom Brady could do it. How come your quarterback can't do it? Forever. So it's like, just be done now. We know that he's the best. He's the GOAT. I'll stamp it. I'll get it tattooed on my arm. Fine. But like, yeah, just enough's enough. Let's get some of these other guys, these up and comers going through here. And, like the new era of the NFL. Breeze is gone. Roethlisberger's retired. We got Rodgers that's towards the end of his career. Brady, all these guys. I mean, it's just happening. It's just the time that a lot of these tail end of these guys' careers. We've seen it in the 90s with a lot of great quarterbacks at the end of their careers and stuff. So my gut says he's done. And, I mean, just right off into this somewhat sunset with your mansion with a moat and your model girlfriend or wife and your just great life there. And whatever. We'll talk about him in another 50 years. I can't wait.
Yeah, I actually like Tom Brady. Like people like dog me because like I make fun of him every now and again. I'm not really making fun of him. I'm making fun of his followers because his followers are annoying to me. So every now and again I troll him a little bit. I actually like Tom Brady. I think he's funny. He's obviously fantastic at football, but even like outside of football, I think he's funny. He's like a good dude. I think he's easy to like. Even before when he's in New England, people hate him. Like they kind of see now where he's a buck. I follow him on Instagram. He's always he's hyping it. He's making Instagram videos, kind of hyping football stuff up. Uh, I don't know. I can see why people don't like him, but because people hate winners, and especially like as Packer fans, like we were so close to like having like that many rings, or at least having that many opportunities to be in the Super Bowl. Maybe not quite that many in that time frame, but like there's a 3 or 4 years where realistically the Packers should have had a better shot to get to that game. Anyway, talk about it. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say I think he's gonna retire, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if if he retired, like you're saying, dude, let someone else have a shot. I saw people I was watching some sports show and they said that. Like, just go home, give the ball to someone else. You know what I mean? It's like when you're a kid and there's like a kid on the side not playing, you know what I mean? You're just over here wrecking people. Just let the kid in, sit down for a little while. Let someone else come on here and get some. But I saw a comment up here I want to get to, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up here in a second. Uh Joe says, when is the next podcast? Probably sometime early next week. talking over about the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship. Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually try to tomorrow talk a little bit more. I'm gonna do a podcast. I don't know for sure if I am. It depends what I'm doing. But I'm gonna be live during the AFC and NFC Championship game. Next week I'm gonna try to do. I'll probably do a bunch leading up to the Super Bowl because I need. That's gonna be interesting to talk about. Probably try to have a bunch of people on. But yeah, I might have one more before the game. I'll definitely have some like live stream because not every live stream I do as my podcast. So I think people call it the same. But yeah, I'll probably be live before the games and talk about championship games. You know what I mean? Just because the Packers are out, doesn't mean that we're off the hook. We still got to talk about these things. But I appreciate everyone who tuned in. And if you want to become a Facebook supporter, go to my Facebook page. And there's like a little supporter button. You get to be in a private group. We can talk football. We can talk other things like you do in groups. And you have a shot to be on a live stream. I'm going to have some that with more people. Today, Jason's the only one that was around. But I'm going to try to do it where, I can have like 9 people in this thing. That might be a little much. But we can try to get like 3, 4, 5 people sometimes and just have a nice conversation. Especially during the off season. We can just chit chat, have a good time, drink some beers, and talk about what could be next year. And maybe talk about some other stuff, talk about Chris Farley over here. You know what I mean? But we're going to have a good time this offseason. We're going to keep this thing moving during the offseason. All right. But go Pack, go people. NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game coming this week. I'll be live for those, I believe, for both of them, at least one of them. I'm going to try to do both. You know what I mean? But depends what I'm doing. Appreciate you, Jason, coming on. I'll tell Ben you said what's up.
Yep.
And go Pack, go people. Thanks for tuning in. And we're going to keep these things going, baby. And if you happen to watch this thing on LinkedIn, that's awesome. I'm live on LinkedIn for the first time. I just created an account like an hour ago. I don't even know what it is, but I think it's for smart people.